Hello, this is great. This is your history video for Thursday, May 20th, I believe it is. Yes, May 20th. And so we are doing 4 pages here, 308 to 311. Let's go ahead and get started. I will read quickly, so follow along quickly. Medieval England, the Battle of Hastings. As more nobles obtained land, their social class became more powerful. People looked to them for protection rather than to the king. In 1066, the King of England died without an heir. Two powerful nobles, Harold Godwinson and Duke William of Normandy, both claimed the throne. When Harold set himself up as the next king, William called upon his vassals to provide him with men and supplies to form an army. Vassals is your secret word. William and his army then met Harold's forces on a field near the town of Hastings. Harold, wanting to force William to attack first, placed his men along the top of a hill. Standing side by side with their shields raised, Harold's men formed a wall of shields. William knew this meant his men would have to break through this wall to win the battle. William and the Norman army surged up the hill toward Harold's army. Shouts rang out, and metal clanged as the two armies clashed. William's army attacked the wall again and again. Late in the afternoon, the Norman army finally broke through. Harold was killed in the fierce struggle, and his army fled soon afterward. This conflict became known as the Battle of Hastings. William is now the King of England. He chose some of his own men to be lords, replacing the ones who were not loyal to him. All England became a feudal kingdom. William was called William the Conqueror. He began a new royal line called the Normans. Next page, 309. Henry's legal system. The line of Norman kings in England lasted only through William's grandchildren. William's great-grandson, Henry II, came to power in 1154 after many years of civil war between his mother and her cousin Stephen of Blois. Henry II's family, the Plantagenets, ruled England until the very end of the 1400s. Henry developed England's legal system, extending the king's jurisdiction over issues that had been handled previously by local officials. During King Henry's time, the courts practiced trial by ordeal. A common method of trial by ordeal was to tie an accused person's hands and feet with rope and throw him into deep water. The people believed that if he floated, the pure water had rejected him because of his sin, and he was considered guilty. If he sank, he was innocent. Sadly, many innocent people lost their lives under this system. After the civil wars, many land claims had to be settled to determine right ownership. Henry II developed procedures to handle these issues. He issued writs to the local sheriffs. The writ instructed a sheriff to decide who actually held each piece of disputed land. Even though someone else may have owned the land, the person who actually lived on it usually got to keep it. The sheriff's decision required a trial by jury. Jury members were made up of local people who came to the court. They told what they knew about the people who had claims to the land. Next page here. Okay. With the help of the jury, the sheriff determined who should be the landowner. When there was a disagreement over the sheriff's decision, the case could be retried. When a particularly difficult case came up, it would be sent directly to Henry II for his decision. Over time, such decisions were written down and enforced throughout England, becoming England's common law. Signing the Magna Carta. In 1199, Henry II's youngest son, John, became the King of England. King John was not popular with the people. He imposed heavy taxes to cover his military losses, and he used his power to gain money and land for himself. John was often at odds with the church. The key religious leader in a region was called an archbishop. In England, the most important church leader was the Archbishop of Canterbury. John got into a dispute with the Pope over who should choose the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the Pope excommunicated John or removed him from membership in the church for a time. Look there at the bottom on the Legend of Robin Hood. It says, the legend of Robin Hood is about a man living in medieval England during the reigns of Richard the Lionhearted and his brother John. He lived as an outlaw in Sherwood Forest near the town of Nottingham. Robin excelled as a swordsman and an archer. A band of merry men who were all clad in green lived there with him. Robin Hood and his merry men spent their days fighting injustice and robbing the rich to give to the poor. Although it is unlikely that Robin Hood was an actual historical person, the legend raised him to the status of a national hero. Robin Hood's methods are not justified by Scripture, but many people view him as a champion who stood up for the rights of the poor during a time of tyranny. Okay, last page here at 311. As dissatisfaction with King John's reign increased, a group of nobles examined the English laws and determined that King John's abuses of power were violating their rights. The nobles agreed that the king's power needed to be limited. In 1215, the nobles led a revolt against King John. They captured the city of London, and John began negotiating with them on an attempt to end the conflict. One of their demands was that John sign a document called the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta was based on English laws from the time of the Norman kings. The nobles designed the document to ensure that their own rights were protected. However, in time, the English people viewed the Magna Carta as a statement of the rights of all citizens. Under the Magna Carta, the king had to submit to the law. If he did not, the Magna Carta gave the nobles power to compel him to obey. This document greatly limited the king's power to tax and control his subjects. John signed the Magna Carta, but it is doubtful that he intended to abide by it. However, he died suddenly in the following year, and his 9-year-old son became king. At that time, the Magna Carta was confirmed by the King's Council and approved by the Pope. When the Magna Carta was signed, the people did not know the significance it would have in the future. The document continues to be the statement of rights for free citizens. Its influence had spanned several centuries of history and has even reached other countries. American colonists used the rights granted in the Magna Carta as a basis for the resisting unfair taxation by the King of England. The Magna Carta's legacy can be seen in the Constitution of the United States and in the Bill of Rights. Other territories within the British Empire also have reference to Magna Carta and its guarantee of rights. For example, British colonizers claimed economic rights because of the document, while native peoples of the regions pointed to the political and legal freedoms that should be provided under its provisions. In addition, the trial of Nelson Mandela and Mandela in South Africa in 1963-1964 contained one well-known appeal to the rights guaranteed by the Magna Carta. All right, and the Magna Carta says it was written as if the king were addressing his subjects. Although much of it concerned matters applicable only in feudal times, some of it applied to later times as well. Here are a few of the rights granted in the Magna Carta. Number 9, neither we nor our officials will seize any land in rent in payment of a debt, so long as the debtor has movable goods sufficient to discharge the debt. No scutage or aid type of taxes may be levied in our kingdom without its general consent, unless certain requirements are met. No sheriff, royal official, or other person shall take horses or carts for transport from any free man without his consent. Neither we nor any royal official will take wood for our castle, or for any other purpose without the consent of the owner. And in future, no official shall place a man on trial upon his own unsupported statement without producing credible witnesses to the truth of it. And so it says 4 copies remain in the 1215 Magna Carta. This copy is from the British Library. That's it. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.